gives me tremendous pleasure to introduce Jasmine Carver, an outstanding student who was chosen by her peers to deliver this year's student address. Jasmine studied in the epidemiology of microbial diseases department with a concentration in global health. Prior to coming to the Yale School of Public Health, she obtained her undergraduate degree, cum laude, in biology from Lewis and Clark, and then served for 2 years as a Peace Corps volunteer in the Dominican Republic, where she worked on environmental education and improved sanitation programs. Last summer, she received a Wilbur G. Downs Fellowship to study sexual risk behavior and social support among adolescents in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. We'll hear more about that after Jasmine's address. While at YSPH, Jasmine was inactive in the Haven Free Clinic at the Integrated Refugee and Immigration Services in New Haven, and with the Neighborhood Health Project, a student-run free clinic that provides screening for hypertension and diabetes. With her MPH degree in hand, she'll join 3 others in the graduating class in the 2-year Applied Epidemiology Fellowship sponsored by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Council of State and Territorial Epidemiologists. She will be working in the Health Department of Marin County, California. It's an honor and a delight to invite to the podium your 2013 student speaker, Jasmine Carver.
Thank you very much. I'm so honored to address you on this special day. Graduation is such a perfect opportunity for reflections and resolutions. Every new year represents a classic time to examine life and to think about ways we might commit to improving it. I take almost any chance to reflect and resolve. I even talk about resolutions on an ordinary day to fill a small pause with any conversation. Asking someone about their commitments to better their life on a Monday is usually met with a tilted head and almost never an answer. However, we are always somewhere on our timeline where we can look back to learn and look forward to change. And here we are in our gowns at a huge mark in our timeline. What a great time to bring up resolutions. We are here to celebrate what we have done and what we will do. We are celebrating our very decision to pursue public health. Some of you graduating today are here because you've cared deeply about a health subject that you've been planning to study for years. Some recently became passionate about a specific disease, issue, or population. Still others are here because this program serves as a stepping stone for future degrees or to supplement a higher degree you already have. If we're honest, many of us are partly here because it was an attractive way to delay 9-to-5 birthdays and continue to ponder our career goals. Regardless of why we chose public health, we should commend ourselves because we did. We are also here to celebrate choosing this school. We showed up with our diverse backgrounds and sets of skills. I remember sitting in Winslow Auditorium during orientation and focusing only on everyone's wardrobe. I was trying to figure out if we were dressed up because it was orientation or if we'd wear business casual clothes to class because this is graduate school or because this is the Northeast. I found out later that things would get a lot more casual when the 9 o'clock classes rolled around. But if I hadn't been looking at people's shoes, maybe I would have recognized the significance of the moment. We were coming together because we had chosen to devote our time to get this degree. We moved to New Haven, a place that takes a little bit of commitment itself. We joined a community where we could share the good stuff, our personalities, our interests, and our experiences. Whether we knew it or not, we were also pledging to show each other our imperfections. We would occasionally act like toddlers, blush, cry, and get openly overwhelmed in other manifestations. Beyond deciding to pursue public health and to come here to do so, we should commend ourselves for actually doing it. We have each attended more than 1,000 hours of classes with professors who are almost unfathomably accomplished. We have put in many more hours thinking, reading, and writing about public health. We have taken numerous tests, even though they sometimes masquerade as quizzes, and presented on diverse subjects. We have each written enough pages to fill thick books. Maybe not page turners, but books nonetheless. We have learned from our classes, from our classmates, and from everything in which we have taken part. We have learned from the seminars that drew us in with free lunch and ended up offering thought-provoking information. We have also learned begrudgingly from our mistakes and our failures. For many of us here, our time represents the greatest concentration of rejection we have ever endured. It feels like rejection when SAS, our statistical program, produces an error message right when we were feeling confidence over the machine. We have been rejected from classes and more jobs than we might care to admit. I was even rejected from a volunteer position. Even more importantly, we have made it through the struggles that come with life outside of school. As individuals, we have undergone challenges that have shaken our worlds, and we still somehow made it through. For that, we should feel very proud to walk across this stage. As we reflect on our accomplishments, we should acknowledge that we didn't do it alone. I think we symbolically share each diploma with each other because we helped each other through with kindness and camaraderie. We are also graduating today with our family members, friends, and significant others who are not in our program. They listen to us talk about biostatistics and the prospect of not getting internships. They didn't hold grudges when we went missing because the workload became too heavy. They even comforted us when we were sad about getting a high pass, even though that sounds like a pretty good grade. We should also congratulate our advisors and professors for somehow treating us both as students in need of attention and guidance and as competent adults worthy of respect. This is their celebration too. I will speak for all of us when I say thank you to all of the people who love and support us. And please ask for your copy of the diploma. So now that we're getting this diploma, we will be moving on. Our futures will look very different in our goals, position titles, and lifestyles. Some people here will be working as clinicians or in the management of healthcare centers. Others will be researchers, teachers, and advocates. We will take part in the battles against malaria, asthma, and obesity. In a decade, some of us will be very dressed up, and others of us will not. However, no matter what we will be wearing or where we are, I have some collective hopes for us. Here are my ideas for class resolutions. I hope we remain grateful. It hasn't been hard to be thankful for what we have. You almost cannot sit through a lecture without hearing about people sick and dying. It isn't horrifically graphic. Death seems a lot less real when expressed as a rate. But the world is not fair or easy. The discipline lends itself well to value health and the resources to protect it. I also hope we continue to appreciate being a part of this. We have been exposed to tremendous knowledge. We have each pushed ourselves and grown in many domains of life. We have learned the skills that will enable us to do good. For all of this, I hope we remember to be grateful. I also hope we stay connected. We have become fortunate members of many communities. We have our smaller groups that naturally formed through assignments and divisions, the YSBH community, and the larger Yale University and New Haven communities. We have made profound friendships. I hope for all of us that as we scatter, we keep these connections. Thank goodness for social media. But it isn't just seeing each other's status updates that will keep us together. I hope we remain actively engaged in our collective, that we share our experiences and continue to learn from easily the smartest group of people I have ever known. My next hope for us is that we contribute to the field of public health. As disparities persist, the global burden of disease shifts, and natural disasters intensify, the challenges will continue to change. Our education will enable us to face these challenges. We have learned how to think critically and make appropriate decisions. I think of us a little bit like celebrities. They take an issue and use their fame to do good. Leonardo DiCaprio has the environment, Susan Sarandon has human rights. We, just like superstars, will take an issue and make a positive change. The contribution that this group of people will inevitably put forth is astounding. We are entering a field that will allow us to improve the health of others and save lives. Lastly, I want us to continue to resolve. I hope that we take every opportunity to look at our lives and the state of the world. That we continue to pursue our goals, even with the potential for disappointment and failure. I hope we continue to think and make conscious decisions. We all know how to try. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. I hope that we each try for what we want, whatever that means for you. 2 weeks ago, I asked a few of you to make resolutions once again. This is what you said. Continue the promotion of health, to live a life of service. Worry less about how things will turn out and spend more time outside. Be true to my dreams and figure out what I want to be when I grow up. I wish you all the best in those endeavors. I know as a group, we are going to do some good, to make ourselves better people and the world a better place. We should be so proud and excited to enter this next phase. Congratulations, class of 2013.
Thank you, Howie, Mayor, and Jasmine, for those fantastic remarks. Those of you who are visiting, I think now can see why I feel so privileged to work in a great organization like this. Now I'd like to announce several prizes. The first is the Dean's Prize for